Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, I wanted to continue the theme that Johnny has started and discuss with you my topic: does the future of marginal farming lie in the untapped potential of rewilding? So for this, I'm going to try and cover these following areas, but I firstly wanted to draw your eyes to this graphic, which I think sums up my Nuffield journey pretty well. So for the new scholars in the room, you're certainly in for a whirlwind 18 months ahead. But firstly, what is this topic? It's important for us to define rewilding. This can mean many different things to many different people. For me personally, it means restoring natural process-led systems at a landscape scale. So how do we do this? Well, we have active rewilding. This means we need human intervention to either enhance, promote, or restore our natural process-led systems. I saw this firsthand in Kenya with a project by Just Dig It, where they wanted to restore the vegetation to the landscape through the creation of swales. In essence, some mini dams to store more water to allow vegetation to return. Secondly, we have passive rewilding, a technique not often seen much in the UK due to the need for large temporal and spatial scales. But really, this means humans ceasing to use the land for production-based purposes. Again, I saw this in Patagonia, in southern Chile, where they've removed all domestic livestock and their infrastructure to allow natural graziers to return to restore their natural process-led systems. So why did I want to do it? Why did I want to go and study rewilding? I had two motivations. Firstly, a biodiversity crisis. In the UK, we're currently in the bottom 10% of countries worldwide for biodiversity. On farmland alone, since 1970, we've lost 61% of our farmland bird species. Secondly, in my opinion, we're also experiencing a farming crisis. Since 2005, we've lost nearly 22% of our farms. If you look closely, the majority of these are under 200 hectares. I was seeing both of these issues firsthand. 2022, the year of my year group scholarship, curlews failed to return to the valley for the first time in living memory. I was also witnessing one farm per year ceasing production and therefore business. So where did I want to go and learn about it? Well, our year group started with their CSC in Vancouver, but my personal study tour started in Europe, seeing rewilding at a relatable landscape to the UK. I then ventured to southern Chile, where I got to see rewilding at a true landscape scale, not often seen anywhere else in the world. I also visited the continent of Africa to see an environment that is complex both climatically and socially, and how land management changed. I was lucky enough to partake in a GFP, which truly gave me different perspectives on my personal study tour. Now, for someone harping on about sustainability, this is a lot of air travel. So I planted 1,000 trees upon returning, and there's another 1,000 to go in this winter. Before I actually start talking about my topic, though, this has truly been an adventure of a lifetime for me. From seeing cattle bomas in northern Kenya to tracking buffalo in Zimbabwe, and having lamb roasts with the gauchos in Chile, to being stuck on the plains of Africa for a whole day. You'll see the outcome later. But a personal highlight has to be climbing into the canopies of northern Zambia to collect natural honey with the beekeepers of Mililunga. So back to my topic. I found it really useful to split it into three pillars of sustainability: economic, environmental, and social. I think we can all agree it's hard for any business to look beyond the economic pillar. Yet arguably, a lot of marginal farms are doing this. Rewilding and restoring natural processes has been shown to reverse this through the creation of multiple income streams. Community Forest Pemba are helping their farmers realize the true meaning of diversity as a spice of life. Here, they have now educated their farmers on the benefits that woodland cover can bring through the development of multiple spice products to be created to achieve year-round market access. The late Doug Tompkins in Chile promoted the use of buffer farms surrounding his national parks. On these farms, they had to set aside 30% of the land for conservation. The remaining of the land had to produce multiple products to achieve year-round market access. If this was achieved, they could tap into funds available by the Tompkins Foundation and other private equity. Cooperatives were also amazing to see around the world, from Friendly Wool in Chile to Forest Fruits in Zambia. Both examples showed to me how when small individual stakeholders work together, they can achieve large economic outcomes as well as environmental benefits. Forest Fruits showed this, where their farmers are now generating over 50% of their annual income through honey generation. As a result, they're further protecting their forests due to the need of woodland cover to produce honey. I also saw where natural processes were restored, it allowed niche markets to be developed. Closer to home, at Wilder Galbarrow, they're using their backstory of nature recovery on farm to promote their shorthorn beef to reach premium pricing. Allerdale Wilderness Reserve in northern Scotland, made famous by their attempts to reintroduce wolves in 2015, they've tapped into high-end tourism and eco-retreats, where guests wish to be immersed in a true landscape-scale nature recovery project. For me, these examples showed how where natural systems are restored, it can achieve economic desires for farmers of multiple scales. Which brings me on to my environmental section. In the UK, we're losing 2.9 million tonnes of topsoil per year. A situation I was seeing firsthand in Kenya on the Borana Conservancy, yet they are reversing this through the use of active rewilding. Here they're using domestic livestock to allow their soils to regenerate and therefore their vegetation, benefiting both production and the wider wildlife on the Conservancy. Biodiversity is a huge target for rewilding and natural processes. Rewilding Chile took a bold step at the Patagonia National Park, where they removed all livestock. At the time, it was 30,000 sheep, the biggest sheep ranch in the whole of Chile. The result was a huge biodiversity bounce back, with the restoration of the balance between predators and prey. However, it's important to realize here they could have seen quicker results in environmental recovery if active rewilding was taking place similar to Borana. And thirdly, water quality. In the UK, we're currently less than 15% of our waterways in good condition, an issue I would argue affects all sectors of our society. Yet, rewilding has been shown to reverse this fact. At Allerdale Wilderness Reserve, they have created a series of riverwoods, in effect blocking off the riparian zones from their domestic stock and wider wildlife. This has allowed salmon spawning to return, reducing water temperatures and the river to be classed in good condition. We can take this one step further, if we ignore the slide skip there, and we can restore a keystone species such as Eurasian beaver, but this does involve community aspect. Which brings me on to my final pillar of social sustainability. This is something I discovered the importance of when I camped 40 kilometers away from the nearest person, and my next meeting was in 2 days' time. Social sustainability to me means restoring the family farm aspect. Community Forest Pemba had a huge issue with the next generation of farmers going off farm due to lack of future prospects for their younger generation to have on farm. They've reversed this. They've restored their economic and environmental pillars. Now those farmers believe there is a future on the farm that can deliver their economic desires at the same time as having a positive impact on local biodiversity. Community engagement was also shown to be crucial for the longevity of projects, from Forest Fruit showing the benefits of the annual honey harvest, to Rewilding Chile's desire to engage their wider community back into the landscape through school education and volunteering programs. I found this really interesting when I compared it back to my own locality, where I can count on one hand how many farms would communicate with the local community, but also complain about the lack of future labour coming through. In Bavaria and Germany, community engagement was crucial to the success of beavers in the landscape. Here they formed an extensive task force of beaver wardens to mitigate the impacts that beavers had on farmland and surrounding landscapes to allow them to achieve their full potential, especially in terms of flood risk. So, what are my take-homes from this? Well, I think as farmers and landowners, we need to start to consider our business from all three pillars of sustainability. So within that, firstly, farmers must move away from our monoculture system in marginal environments. It's not benefiting anyone environmentally, socially, or more important, economically. An awareness of our social pillar is therefore crucial to achieving longevity of projects and maintaining our family farms. And what I also saw, when natural processes were restored, it not only brought huge biodiversity improvements, but it also allowed products to be generated more productively on farm. And my final point is where marginal farms are sustainable, I think it's a result of cooperatives and partnerships. So often in our marginal farm environments, we're working independently, and this is not allowing us to achieve our full market potential, whereas cooperatives I saw were allowing them to achieve full market pricing points as well as a togetherness in the community. So do I have an answer for my topic? Well, this is the picture from when I was stuck in Kenya. To put it simply, I think when natural process-led systems are restored into our marginal farm environment, it gives more opportunity for for our businesses to be sustainable into the longer term. Is that rewilding? Well, I think we can probably all agree to disagree on that point. So looking forwards, what has my Nuffield Scholarship led me towards? It has given me restored confidence to come back to the UK and take some bold steps. I did exactly what we were told, and before I even came back to the UK, I quit my job. I came back and I formed my own consultancy to help advise farmers locally into their 3 pillars of sustainability, with the formation of Blissfully Wild now helping farmers in Cumbria look at their farm different. Also, a chance meeting on the coast of Kenya on Christmas Day has led to me forming a recycling company, now taking plastic from a local festival and a few local farms to generate into merchandise the following year. This would not have been possible without my journey and having that open mind going forwards. As I said, none of this is possible without our wonderful sponsors. Mine were the Worshipful Company of Farmers with Savills, but it's also crucial to thank the wonderful Nuffield Farming Scholarship Trust for their ongoing support throughout the whole process. I was kindly donated some money from Rouse Honey, which allowed me to climb into the canopies of northern Zambia, but also my wonderful family who are sitting in the back of the room for looking after things while I was away and dealing with my terrible dog. Thank you very much, and I'm afraid that is the end of rewilding for today.